You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
What is going on, everybody? Glad you joined me. Thank you for being here on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening to the podcast on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to our Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. Excuse me. Well, man, a lot going on in just a matter of days. I hope your weekend was well. Mine was pretty good considering, I'll get into what happened over the past couple of days, and still things are going on to this day. Things that happened today in my own household. Excuse me, but that's life, and there's a lot of things that we deal with. But I wanted to touch on one of my favorite comedians who had touched down in Atlanta on Saturday, and he is doing a final show here tonight in Atlanta. And that is comedian Dave Chappelle, one of my favorite comedians of all time. I love the Chappelle Show. Who doesn't love Chappelle Show? I mean, you have the Rick James skits, the Prince skits. I was watching the true the true Charlie Murphy Hollywood Stories, and the skit where Dave Chappelle thought that he had gotten Oprah Winfrey pregnant, but that wasn't the case. And there's a lot of classic Chappelle skits, but he's in Atlanta working on his monologue for Saturday. This coming Saturday, he'll be hosting SNL again, and he chose Atlanta to be the destination where he would try out some of his monologue material. And kudos to the people that were able to get tickets. I tried to get tickets myself Friday for the Saturday show, and you had to get in line, and it was going to be a raffle for the tickets. Unfortunately, I was not selected, and the tickets literally sold out in 5 seconds. I mean, they were gone just like that. So, congratulations to anybody who was able to, go see him. The stars here in Atlanta came out to see him. I saw 2 Chainz and some pictures at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. I saw T.I., Country Wayne. Country Wayne's more of a internet guy, but funny nonetheless. The Atlanta Comedy Theater, that's a place me and my girlfriend, we like to go to and check out some comedy talent. I saw Lil Rel there. Lil Rel was pretty funny. Also, I saw, who is the woman who plays Sugar on Friday? Kim Whitley. I wasn't impressed. She might be the worst comedian that I've seen in person. I've seen quite a few, but she's just not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. But anyway, though, Dave Chappelle's here in Atlanta. Wish I could have saw him maybe some other time. I'll get my shot at seeing Dave Chappelle perform live on the stage. But look, let's get into this NFL wrap-up. So many games went on this weekend. That were some pretty good games. Let's start with the Monday night game last night. Giants and Bucks playing up in, East Rutherford, New Jersey? Is that what it is? The Meadowlands? Because they don't really play in New York, if people really want to know. Little fun fact. But anyway, Tampa Bay gets the win 25-23. This game was kind of a boring game until about the fourth quarter, where who was winning this game in the fourth? I believe it was New York. Yeah, the Giants were up 17-15 in the fourth, but Daniel Jones threw two horrible picks in the game, getting happy feet. And you can just tell once that blitz was coming, those feet just got to tapping and tapping and tapping. And the one of the picks that he threw in the fourth quarter, the Bucks, they ended up turning it into points, and that gave them the lead for good. That gave them a 22-17 lead. Now the Giants they did hold on a 3rd-and-1 stand, forcing Tampa to take a field goal that put them up by 8. After that, we go to the final drive where the Giants drive down the field, score a touchdown, but they failed to convert a 2-point conversion, and Tampa escapes. Tom Brady continues his MVP campaign, throwing for 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 106. One of the things I wanted to see in this game was Daniel Jones. He didn't play bad. Outside of the 2 picks, he didn't really play bad. He really took what Tampa was giving to him. Who was it? Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis is having an amazing season. He had another pick last night. I believe he has 4 picks on the season. But that blitz from Tampa is something else. I mean, that defense, look, believe it or not, that defense is kind of looking like that old Tony Dungy Tampa defense, and they made Daniel Jones get happy feet, and the feet got the tapping back there, and he just got rid of the ball, and Tampa made him pay for that pick late in the fourth quarter. Has anyone seen Jones? Ronald Jones? Has anyone seen him? He's kind of been MIA the past 2 weeks. I believe he only had 7 carries. I could be wrong. I think it's only 7 carries this week, and he didn't have many carries against the Raiders last week. But he's been kind of MIA. But Tampa has been able to hold steady, and they get another win as they beat the Giants last night, 25-23. In other games, the New Orleans Saints, one of my divisional foes, being a Falcons fan, they played the Bears on Sunday, and they ended up getting a 26-23 overtime win. Alvin Kamara looked very good in this game. Alvin Kamara, 9 catches, 96 yards, 67 yards rushing. He had some big catches for some big gains in this game. Nick Foles, 28 of 41, 272, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And I bring up Nick Foles because I keep seeing like all the people, who claim they know sports on, the big time networks. And they keep blaming this whole problem on Nick Foles with the offense not being able to move. Nick Foles threw 1 pick. So there was another pick that was dropped. So he possibly could have had 2. But outside of that, Nick Foles didn't play bad. I mean, he was under pressure for quite a bit of the game. But 28 of 41 for 272. It's not bad. The problem with the Bears offense is, listen to this, they are 31st in rushing. They're 31st in rushing yards. That's next to last in the league. And they are last in rushing touchdowns. Okay? So what that causes is, it causes this stat right here. The Bears are 3rd in pass attempts. The reason they're throwing the ball so much is because they can't run the ball. They can't run the ball. That's the problem in Chicago. They want to blame on Nick Foles. Look, I'm not saying that Nick Foles is just world beaters, but I do think that, give Nick Foles some credit. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and the guy's been around the league, for a while. He knows what he's doing. The Bears can't run the ball. When you can't run the ball and all you can do is throw, you better hope you got some receivers out there like Antonio Brown or Julio Jones. Because I come from the old school where the run sets up the pass. And Chicago just doesn't have it. They keep blaming the offensive woes on Nick Foles. Uh, I really didn't see that against New Orleans. What I saw was the ineffectiveness of the run game, and the stats I just told you prove that. I mean, the Bears can't. They all they can do is throw. They can't run it. They can't run it. They need to go look for a running back this offseason, whether that's the draft or free agency. But they need help in that backfield ASAP. I just don't think that Nick Foles is just solely the problem for that Bears offense. You know, because now I wonder what Trubisky would have done if you give Trubisky a run game. What could he have done? But with that being said, I still don't believe in the Chicago Bears. I still think they're one of the biggest frauds in the NFL. I believe they dropped to 5-3 now. But yeah, that is the problem in Chicago. They can't run the ball. Now, the other thing that took place in this game was the fight between Javon Wims and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now, Wims was suspended for 2 games, and he accused Johnson of spitting on him. But when they showed the replays, I never saw it. And when C.J. Gardner-Johnson put his finger, like, mushed one of the players, it wasn't Javon Wims who he mushed. It wasn't him. And then what was so odd about it was they weren't even lined up on the play that the fight happened. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was lined up against another guy, and then after the play, Javon Wims walks over to him and gives him a 2-piece, with his helmet on. Excuse me. But to be fair, and just playing devil's advocate, I believe that C.J. Gardner-Johnson was accused of this before with Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas, his own teammate, of spitting on him. Which kind of got Michael Thomas into some trouble with the team. But I don't know. There seems to be kind of a fake history of this. I don't know. I just don't know what Javon Wims was thinking. I don't know what was going through his mind when he decided to go give C.J. Gardner-Johnson a 2-piece. And speaking of the 2-piece, Johnson said that the hit was weak. And here's my take on that, my opinion. I don't care nothing about if the hit was weak or not. When you are a grown man, you don't let another grown man step in your space and hit you like that. I don't care where you're at or what you're doing. You don't do that. Remember, you are a man before everything. Before everything. So, I don't care nothing about the hit being weak because, dude, you just got 2-piece by a guy who had nothing to do with the play, and you've been accused of spitting on him. You've been accused of this twice now. So, I don't know, but the NFL, they didn't want to stand for it. They suspended Javon Wims for 2 games, and I'm pretty sure that he will appeal those suspensions for the 2 games. So, moving on, the Miami Dolphins. Dolphin fans, how do you feel? You guys have a winning record, 4-3. Dolphins end up beating the Rams yesterday, 28. Well, not yesterday, but Sunday, 28-17. Tua Tagovailoa, 12 of 22, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. A lot of people really tuned into this game like I did just to kind of get a sense of how he would handle playing a complete game. Couldn't really get a read on him because his defense showed up for him, forcing 4 Rams turnovers. If you watch that game, especially in the first half, the defense for the Miami Dolphins got after Jared Goff. They were throwing packages at him where the line didn't know who to pick up. They didn't know who to pick up. I mean, there was one play where Goff got lit up. lit up right as he's about to throw the ball. Sack, fumble. Dolphins recover it. They run it all the way back. And yeah, the rest is pretty much history. Jared Goff threw 61 passes in this game for 355 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. 61 passes. That's a lot of passes. So that just tells you how the day went for the Rams in itself. That they needed their starter to drop back on those 61 times. But Tagovailoa, Tua, like I said, 12 of 22, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. He actually fumbled. Was it a fumble? I believe it was a fumble on his first pass play or something like that. I know he had a turnover. I know that much. But again, you couldn't really judge him based off the way the game went. And we'll get a chance to see, though, if he really is an NFL quarterback. He's going to be put in a position where Brian Flores is going to ask him to lead this offense down the field. So we'll just have to wait until that time comes. But Sunday wasn't the time. So congratulations, Dolphin fans. You guys have a winning record. Excuse me. All right, Niner fans. Oh my goodness. 49er fans. Your starting quarterback and your starting tight end might be out for the season. Now, Garoppolo, your starting QB, let's see, he aggravated his right ankle sprain in Sunday's 37-27 loss to the Seahawks. Now, this is going to keep him out for a minimum of 6 weeks and maybe longer if it requires surgery. Now, the Niners had, initially they had optimism that, Kittle, their starting tight end, didn't have any fractures in his foot. But further testing revealed that a broken bone will cost him 8 weeks. That pretty much puts him out for the year. I don't care what you say. He's not coming back. Nick Mullins will step into the starting quarterback role. This is a job that he filled when Garoppolo missed 2 games with an ankle sprain earlier this season. C.J. Beathard will serve as Mullins' backup. The Niners are 4-4, and they will play Green Bay on Thursday night. And I hate to tell you this, Niner fans, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The Niners are going to lose on Thursday, and they probably will lose out. Without Garoppolo and Kittle, I just don't see it. This is a team that already doesn't throw the ball like all the way down the field for real. I've seen Nick Mullins play this season. I saw him play against the Eagles, and this isn't really an indictment on him because Carson Wentz has looked horrible this season. Now, Mullins looked horrible, but he outplayed Carson Wentz, believe it or not. Go back and look at the stat box. Even go and look at the highlights of that game. Don't look at the highlights. Look at the condensed version of the game. Mullins outplayed Wentz in that game, but Mullins is still trash. Okay? Nick Mullins is trash. I won't be surprised if they put C.J. Beathard in because remember, they did the same nonsense against Philly. They put C.J. Beathard in late in the 4th, which made absolutely no sense. But, yeah, so Niner fans are going through it. If you know a 49er fan, reach out to them, call them today, and see if they're okay. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to keep it NFL here now. Some news is coming out today that the NFL could have a 16-game postseason, 16-team postseason if games are missed due to the COVID-19. Now, the NFL Competition Committee expects to present a resolution to owners based on the contingency of having a 16 team playoff season, 8 from each conference. Now, if games are lost due to the pandemic, especially with bye weeks disappearing because the league had to shuffle games around. Now, the first round playoff pairings would put kind of like any other sport, the top seed versus the low seed. So you have a one seed versus 8 seed, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 in each conference. They will acknowledge division winners. So in each conference, division winners will be the top 4 seeds. Now, I was born in this year, but I don't remember this, of course, obviously. For some of you old heads out there that are older than me might remember this, but back in 1982, the league went to an expanded postseason after a 57-day players' strike. The league only played 9 regular season games, but they instituted a 16-team playoff. Now, unlike 1982, the league won't be ignoring division standings for seedings. So they're going to take that into account this year if that happens. So good for the NFL. More football, I got no problem with it. All right, let's switch things up. Let's go over to the NBA now. The Golden State Warriors, they are in the news. And everyone seems to be in the news for this reason. And I don't know why. Why? Why? I'll get to it in a second. So the Warriors are they're unveiling new uniforms. It's their city edition, and the jersey design is a throwback to the 06-07 season, dubbed the We Believe era. Now, the team wrote that in an announcement recently, and that was the year that the Warriors became the first 8 seed to upset a number 1 seed in a best-of-7 playoff series when they up into the Dallas Mavericks in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Some Oakland fans, they don't like it. Now, I don't like it for other reasons. Oakland fans, they don't like it because the Warriors left Oakland to cross the bay over into San Francisco. That's where they play at. And they're being sued. Well, they're suing Oakland for some unpaid bill or something. The team owners, I believe. It's nonsense. So, fans in Oakland, they don't like it. They're like, whatever, San Francisco took our team from us or whatever. I've never been to San Francisco or Oakland, but I've heard that it just is only separated by a bridge. But then again, I don't know how long it takes to get from Oakland to San Francisco if you want to see a Golden State Warriors game. So I'm kind of biased. I don't know, so maybe these fans have a legit gripe and I just need to shut the hell up because I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, but the reason I don't like it is, look, I'm old school when it comes to this kind of thing. You wear white at home and you wear your colored jerseys on the road. It's NBA. The NFL has kind of gotten into that too. But in the NFL, you wear your colors at home, you wear your white on the road. There was always an exception for certain teams. Dallas always wore white jerseys at home. The Redskins always wore the Redskins. I'm sorry. The Washington football team. The Washington football team wore white jerseys at home, except when they played Dallas. The Eagles will wear white jerseys at home here and there, kind of like the Miami Dolphins. They'll wear white jerseys, here and there. But I'm old school where, you get 2 set of jerseys, in a away and a home. And I'm okay with an alternate, but the alternates are worn a little too much now. Back in the day, remember when the Chicago Bulls had the black pinstripe jerseys? You never saw those jerseys. I mean, it was a blue. The moon was purple mixed with the green. If you saw the Bulls wear the black jerseys with the red pinstripes, and I was fine with that, But now we're in this era now where every team has to have 30 different jerseys for whatever the reason is, and I just don't care for it too much. So put me in with the fans in Oakland that don't like it. Put me in that category. Excuse me. All right, let's keep it on. Keep on pushing. The 76ers, they officially have named Daryl Morey president of basketball operations and have extended the contract of GM Elton Brand on Monday. Shout out to Elton Brand. He played here with the Hawks for a little bit at the end of his career. You might remember Brand. You remember Elton Brand when he played for the Bulls and Clippers. You know, a big guy out of Duke. I don't care much for guys from Duke, but Elton Brand's a solid guy. I like Elton. Now, Morey, if you remember, just recently stepped down as GM of the Houston Rockets this month after a blockbuster move that failed to lead the franchise to the NBA Finals. The Rockets made the playoffs 10 times since Morey was hired in '07, including the last 8 seasons, for the longest active streak in the NBA. Elton Brand was named GM on September 20th, 2018. He helped lead the hiring process that landed Coach Doc Rivers earlier last month. So give those men a round of applause. Those are men that are going to be shaping the Philadelphia 76ers, trying to right the ship, of the whole trust the process. Morey came out and recently just said when he was hired that let it be known that this is Joel Embiid's team. Well, I have no gripes with it, I just want to see him lead. I saw something where Stephen A. Smith also said that he would like to see Philadelphia trade Ben Simmons for the Mr. Beard Man, James Harden. Now, I haven't had a lot of time to really dissect that, but just on paper, yeah, I would be down with it if I'm Philadelphia. I would send Simmons to Houston in a heartbeat if it meant I was getting a scoring guy like that in James Harden back. And now that I think about it, that might be a good fit. You put a Harden on that team with, you finally give Harden some pieces where, Harden doesn't have to be the ball hog and take all the shots. So I like it, but I don't think that I think Philadelphia is going to have to find out what they need to do with Al Horford, though. I do think that having Horford and Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, whenever he goes down low, most time he wants to be on the perimeter, and Ben Simmons, it's just too much. It's too much going on, inside that 3-point line, especially down in the paint. Too much going on. So they'll have to figure that situation out, and we can't do anything but wait until the NBA season starts to find out what happens. Whenever that does start, because the commissioner, he's going back and forth with general managers because players, they don't want to start pre-Christmas. He wants to start the season pre-Christmas. They don't, but that's another story for another day. I might talk about that on the next podcast. But yeah, the Sixers, they have some work to do, but I look at it as good work. They're not in a bad situation. At least I don't believe they are. So yeah, we'll see what the Sixers do in the coming season. All right. Let's move on to this guy's a knucklehead here. Adrian Bronner. Adrian Bronner is in the news today. A Cleveland judge ordered Bronner to be taken into custody for contempt of court, stemming from a 2018 lawsuit regarding Bronner's assault on a woman at a nightclub. Now, Judge Nancy Russo had grown tired of his antics because Bronner has failed to meet a number of deadlines where he was to demonstrate to why he hasn't paid an $830,000 judgment against him. And as he's prone to do, Bronner flashed a ton of cash on Instagram just this week, but claimed to only have $13 in cash when he filed court documents. People, men, women, stop putting your business on social media because someone is always looking. I don't care who you think you are, what you're doing. Someone's looking. Now, Agent Bronner said that this is money that's given to him by friends, but the judge in the case ordered him held until he can show, uh, give a definite, clear outlook on his finances. So the judge is sick of him. I might just be sick of him. He's always in the news for the wrong reasons. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. But I don't understand why people do this. They have to take a wad of cash and take pictures of it for Instagram. It is mind-boggling to me. But hey, it is what it is. All right. Last topic. I'm going to say topic. Last topic of the day. My family is eating my diet food. People, help me. Help me. What is it? All right. So those of you that may not know, I am on a life-changing journey right now with food. So I went to the grocery store on Friday and I picked up a couple things because I know that my girlfriend wasn't going to do it. I know she didn't want to pay for it. You know, that is how women are. They don't want to pay for nothing with their own money. You pay for it. And that was fine. Whatever. So I go and pick up my food. I pick up some chicken breasts, fresh, in the packs, some salmon, some other things, and the family eats my food up. I bought some fruit. They ate that up. They ate it up. Like I bought stuff that I know they wouldn't eat. Like I've kicked sodas pretty much, but I bought a 6-pack of Coke Zeros, and I like my stuff to go into the fridge. I don't put the whole 6-pack in. I might take one off, put it in the fridge, so I have one that's cold when I'm ready to drink it. So I come back the next day, my whole 6-pack is gone. It's like one left. What is that? Oh, family isn't ish. That's what I gotta say. Eat your food up, you know. And I'm like, and I'm telling them this yesterday. I said, this is food for me trying to, I'm trying to change how I eat with food. Okay, so you all had food, your own regular food, and like I just saw some French fries, in the freezer, but you go out of your way to open my pack of chicken breast, and cook that, and some other things. My onions. I bought some tomatoes. I only bought 2 tomatoes. One of those ended up being sliced and diced and whatever for whoever made themselves something with tomatoes. But yeah, that's where I am. That's where I'm at. These people are gonna force me to just go on a straight water fast. You know, excuse me, because I can't have food. All right, hey, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to the podcast Facebook page. Get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.